All right, Mana had TCG here, and we just topped and made the finals for the 3v3. It was 3 PS5s and like 4 or 5 cases of the new set here at Versus Gaming. We'll do some shout outs at the end. But our team was Mana had TCG or Mana had YouTube. We all played Sword Soul. So basically, the ban list came out. We all didn't know what to play. We were playing the Prank Kid deck, and yeah, that got slaughtered.
Yeah, I think just Sword Soul in general is just like the most consistent deck. So that was just like our theory behind it, and we tricked it out to either beat the mirror or to be really good against Despia.
And I forgot to introduce him. This is Andres Espinosa. This guy's pro. We do all the shout outs at the end, teams and all that. So let's get right into the deck, all right? So we started with the normal Sword Soul lineup. So we had the 3 Moe. We only played 2 Ecclesia. It is not a worm. It really loses hard to Ash. Everyone's playing Ash Blossom for the branded deck. The branded deck was the most popular deck other than this one, so we wanted to make sure that we only played 2.
Not only that is that it's better going second. Like this card in theory going first is not that good, so you want this going second, and we're trying to go first every turn or every game. So seeing this in the opening hand is good for follow-up, but not to start your combo.
Yeah, so we thought about a going second deck, but we didn't know what the format was going to be, so we decided against it. Then we have the 3 Long Young, really standard. We have Blackout and the 2 Taya. Okay. There is one difference, a couple differences from our deck.
Yeah.
Is I decided to play 2 Taya, but instead he plays.
I played Upstart, so instead of playing this, I personally don't like this card. It's better like late to mid game. And I never needed it. If I needed it like to try to do follow up, I would always search it instead. So I felt like playing Upstart was just better.
Yeah, and the deck is going to be 40 cards. You both played 40. He technically plays 39, and we play the 2 Desires that just come off the list. Okay, so here now we have the 3 Emergence that closes all the Sword Soul main deck monsters, and then we played the 10s. So we played 3, 6, and 9. We decided on the 9 10s because we decided to play Vessel. We really didn't like the Heavenly Circle, because if you had to play the Heavenly Circle, you had to play the water one, and we did not want to play a brick. There is a different spicy tech that our other teammate played Hog Up, and we'll show you the profile at the end.
There's an argument to play 1 circle because I did lose to mine, and in theory the deck has no main deck out to mine.
Yeah, so that was a little issue that we had, but we didn't know how popular the Mystic Miner is going to be. Okay, so for consistency, we played the 2 Desires. It just came off. It's really good in this deck. So all of us played the Triple Chalice. We think the Chalice was like really good this format. We didn't know exactly what we're going to see, but it's always going to hit the Mirror Jade, and the Despia people are just Mirror Jade, Mirror Jade, Mirror Jade. It just doesn't hit the Guardian Chimera.
If Polly's in the grave.
Yeah, if Polly's in the graveyard. So that's something to know. Because of Polly in the grave, I decided to play Droplets. This deck is really good going second if you open multiple 10s and multiple of its engine cards, but we couldn't beat the Guardian Chimera, so we needed more outs to that.
I chose not to play those. I decided to play more interactions on my opponent's turn. And then I did play the 1 Call by the Grave. Just because there's so many hand traps running around, it's better just to have the Call by the Grave.
Yeah. The Call by the Grave is pretty good. I got shifted in top 8, but he couldn't open a play, and I just passed with like Ash in hand and hoping that it's the best. For straight up hand traps, I just play Ash and Crow. Ash is really good against Despia. We really wanted to tech this deck out for Despia. It's a structure deck, same thing as Salad. Everybody's just going to play it. And then Crow is for the branded in red. Just activating Crow.
Most people are playing Lost, so you just want to play Crow because it's just better.
We cut Bell because the Lost. Everybody's playing Bell, and we just auto-assume that Andres Torres' list is going to be what everybody plays. That's exactly what they did. They don't play hand traps. Whenever we go against that deck, if they don't have a fusion, we're not playing around any hand traps.
Yeah, you just summon box here and just win.
Yeah. The only hand trap technically that they play is the Mercurier. You just auto-assume that they play 3. So when you're playing this deck against Despia, it's usually a hard matchup, and you cannot misplay. And yeah, that's it for the main deck. It's just going to be 40 cards flat. Andres played 39. Okay. Now the extra is kind of like super basic.
It's the same.
So,
We all play the same.
yeah, we all played the same here. Our third had a little different, but we played 3 monks. This came up in my match against Kamal on stream. You can check that out. Check out Versus Gaming on Twitch. And they have their VOD up. But this has monk, and we played the shaman. I didn't summon the shaman once. I don't know if you did.
I summoned it a couple times. It's really good to bring back like a Sinister or a Shishao.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that you remember that this card has a restriction to it. So for the Sword Soul ones, there's the 2 Chunguses. This card is like really good. So if you open the 3-card combo of
It's going to be any Tenyi, Vessel, and then Emergence.
Yeah. You can either open the 2 Tennies, and you can replace one of them with Vessel, or if you open like the Moyi Reveal, and then if this one was Long Young, you're always making the play that you draw 2 with this card. On stream, I forgot to draw with this card, but ideally that's what you're gonna do. I think this deck you have to play like very ideally in order to find some success, because it's not like too broken. It's more of like a fair deck.
Yeah,
we're kind of comparing it to
you get punished a lot too if you play incorrectly. It's not as simple as making a 10 and an 8. There's a lot of different lines that you have to play, and playing through a board. This deck like thrives playing through boards. So in theory, it's a going first deck because we're going first, but it's really good going second.
So we took a lot of inspiration about Christian Uranus deck, and he actually was on the team that beat us in the finals. But you want to play super conservatively. He didn't even want to play the Despot last format, so we didn't want to play too many hard breaks. So, but we still have the Shishaos, we still play 2. We played the Baron. You barely go into this. You're always doing the draw 2 play. They're not playing Nib in the main. It would be in the side. Okay. So we're here. A little bit different. We played the Dragite because it negates effects instead of activation, so you can do it under Lost. It's like really good in the branded deck, and that's what we expected to see.
It's really good too because like when they super poly, Shisha is a light, so this is a water, so it's really good. So they can super poly.
Yeah, so this doesn't play into super poly. I summoned it like once, and if you put Nib that you're gonna see in the side deck, it can reveal. I never used that effect. I maybe summoned this once. I know on when we were on stream, you couldn't see his match, but he summoned this against the branded opponent. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, he had to do like he negged 3 cards to out 1 card.
Yeah, so this is pretty good. We play the Berserker. You can still make the Berserker off the Shaman. It's decent in the mirror. You can make it when you're Wormlock. That's why it's here.
It's also really good against Token Collector. That's like if you're reading a Token Collector, you can make that, and it's really good.
Then we have the Yazi. It's just Yazi. It's really good. We played the 2 Boxia, and then we played Chaofeng. I really didn't want to play this card. I thought there was different options, but you had to play it. Doing the Chaofeng play, you lose the Imperm, but nobody was really playing Imperm this week. And that's the extra. Now for the side, I played the 2 Nib. I didn't know. I knew the Punk deck was kind of like gaining popularity, but nobody knew what any of the cards did. And it happens that Kamal and them were playing that. Yeah. So I would watch out for the Punk deck, but I wanted to be aware of all the combos. So Nib, this is also pretty good in the mirror because with all the Tenny stuff, they just don't respect this card. Then Droll just shits on Despia. This is like really good. They're always playing all those draw cards, so just drawing them ends their turn. I won on stream against Fetty by just draw and Ashing this card, and you literally couldn't do anything. And I know that they don't play hand traps, but I just put them on absolutely like nothing. Okay, then I played Talents. I kind of wanted to main this card, but Talents is really good. In order to beat the Despia board, you want to be able to like take their monster so that they don't Guardian Chimera pop 2, and you can ram into another monster. It's pretty good in the mirror. Sometimes in the mirror, we're always like making them go first. And then pretty much like the card of the weekend, like D-Bear for the mirror, for the Despia matchups. Going first or second, we're playing this as if it was Zoo format, and we're just like siding in these dimensional barriers. It like literally does not matter. This came up for me on stream. I went second. I didn't care. I sided these in, and I was able to draw them. I was able to open playable, and just seeing this on their crackback, they won't be able to do anything. And then I was still scared of the Flunder deck, so I sided twins. Andres' side is slightly different. You'll see it in a second. But I wanted to be ready for the Jerome deck with the twins and the reboot. Okay? This beats Flunder.
My side is literally almost identical as far as the original 9 cards that he played. I played 3 Droll, 3 Talents, and then 3 Barrier. These cards are just really good. I felt like Eldritch was going to be really popular, so I decided to play 3 evenly. And in my top 8, I played evenly, or I played against an Eldritch deck and just blew him out with it. And then also too, I feel like this deck really can't discard cards, which is why I didn't play Droplet. And I also didn't play Twin. I just played 3 cards because you don't have to discard it.
Yeah, we've found a lot of success, especially in his matches with the evenly. You'll see in our other teammate, he played Lightning Storm, and that's what we were changing the side.
No one respects it. Even the mirror match, they don't respect it. Everything's getting put in attack mode, and you just blow them out with it.
Anti-spell's losing popularity, so just Lightning Storm's really good. We'll talk about more about Lightning Storm in the other profile. So you want to give your shout outs first?
Shout out to Team Daily Grind. Shout out to Andy because he gave me this deck on Thursday. I haven't tested. I didn't play this deck. I don't even know how to play the deck. But he let me borrow it. Shout out to everyone in our group message. At least giving me like theory about the deck because I never actually had any live testing with the deck. And then shout out to Kamal, Ruben, and their team. They played great. And it was a good event. Shout out to Matt and a Hat TCG too.
Yeah, so I'd like to give my shout outs to everybody that helped me get the deck. This is like a compilation of like all the South Florida people that allowed me to borrow cards, Geo, even Haggerty let me borrow some stuff. Ruben, I'm using some of his cards as well. Shout out to Pandora Prodigies. Hopefully you'll see us out in YCS Hartford. And shout out to our teammates. That guy's pro over there. That guy almost went undefeated. Deck profile coming soon. This guy's pro too. Really just gotta play this deck ideally and you'll be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.